We are 3.5 days into the wipe, and I have to tell you, the flea market is just the Wild West again. I love early wipe flea market. You can easily make millions of rubles. You can easily spend millions of rubles too if you want to go down the path of the hideout, and we'll talk about that in a second here. But also, I want to talk to you about how I'm predicting the future of the flea market, and I'm holding a bunch of items that I know I'm going to get 5 times value for later on down the road. So I'm going to show you how I'm predicting it. And we're just going to have a nice conversation about early white flea market because it is a gong show. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and relax, I guess. An easy way to make a lot of money on the flea market right now is just selling items that people need for the hideout. That kind of stuff is actually what is selling for the most on the flea market. It's the things that, you know, people want illumination too, so they're going to pay a lot of money for light bulbs and wires, and those are the items that you want to be on the lookout for. So you have to think about it this way, right? Every day that passes, more people are getting the flea market unlocked, which means the market is getting more and more saturated with those items. So I chose the path of, hey, I don't mind my hideout looking like a crack shack, okay? Like, it looks like a dungeon. You know, I do have lavatory 2, vents 2, security 2, and med station 2, but the rest is level 1 because I refuse to pay the prices for some of these upgrades. So let's take, for example, illumination, right? So light bulbs right now are at, let's say, about 35,000. You know, they're at about 35,000 a piece. Wires are at, let's say, 20,000 a piece. So right now, to upgrade the hideout for illumination level 2, it costs roughly, you know, 650,000 rubles. And you could be saying to yourself, hey, geeks, I crafted all the wires, I found all the light bulbs, so it didn't cost me a penny. But you have to think, you could have sold all that stuff instead of investing it into your illumination level 2, which it is an investment, I get it. But instead of putting it into that so you can upgrade it, you could have sold it all for 650. And like I was talking about, every day the prices are going to start dwindling down and down and down. So it's pretty much, do you want the hideout upgraded right away? Do you really want to get a head start and just make sure that you can get, like, you know, your air filter unit going? You want to get lab or workbench level 2 going and start crafting some of that stuff? Or do you want to hoard the millions of rubles that you're going to get and then invest them into upgrading illumination 2 when instead of it costing, say, 650 right now, in like 4 or 5 days, it might cost you, say, 250. So yes, my hideout doesn't look the greatest, okay? I'm not going to disagree with you. My hideout does look kind of crack shacky, but you know what? I've got a lot of rubles, and I don't mind that my hideout isn't leveled up as high as it can go. You know, I have lavatory 2. I am crafting hoses all the time. I still have workbench where I'm crafting my wires. I don't feel like I'm missing out on too many things right now. And like I said, I feel like in a few days, things are going to start bottoming out a little bit more. And I'm going to be able to upgrade everything for a lot less of the price. Now, give me 2 seconds here to prep, but I want to talk to you about now sitting on some items and the items I'm sitting on, because I feel like they're going to just skyrocket in those 3 to 4 days. Predicting the flea market isn't too hard as long as you do a little bit of research and you try to guesstimate where everyone is in the community in their own hideout. So right now, of course, everyone needs illumination level 2. So light bulbs and wires are really expensive. And you can kind of try to figure out, well, in a week's time, people are going to be, say, you know, over here, and they're going to really need a lot of these items. So I'm going to wait. So for example, right now, let's take, for example, the generator, right? Generator level 3 takes 5 power supply units and 7 metal spare parts, right? But if we look, those items right now are actually super cheap on the flea market. Metal spare parts are 5,600. Our power supply units are only 10,000 rubles. And where I'm hoarding these items and I'm just sitting on them is because I know in a week and a half, when people are looking to get generator level 3 going, those items are going to skyrocket in price and just be like, probably, you know what, the power supply units are going to be roughly, last wipe they're around 50 to 60,000. Metal spare parts, I don't remember, but I can guarantee you they'll go up to like 30,000, right? So this goes both ways too. Like if you're thinking ahead and you do have a lot of storage, say you have junk boxes, you can buy all those items right now for super cheap, hoard them, and then when, you know, say the level 2 items go down in price, you're already ready for level 3 hideout items because you bought them when they were cheap right now, and you're not going to pay the prices later on. So you can think of it both ways, but right now, I don't care if my hideout looks the way it does. I think it's more important to get that money early on. So what I'm doing is I'm just sitting on these items. I'm selling everything else that's worth a lot. I'm sitting on the items I know will be worth a lot later because I did a little bit of research on the hideout upgrade path. And, you know, it's again, I'm fortunate enough to have a couple of junk boxes already and to know that I can grab more if I want, but that's because I'm selling those items early wipe instead of doing the upgrade. So illumination, you sell all those items, you're already halfway to your first junk box or to your second junk box, right? And then you can start hoarding more items for later on down the road, or you can start just grabbing them now, and then you can be ready for when you do need them to upgrade to level 3. I hope that made sense. This is all off the cuff, but I really do hope that made sense. Not everyone has that luxury, and I know that. Not everyone has the luxury of like, hey, do this research. You know what I mean? Like, I know sometimes it sounds ridiculous and people are like, okay, no lifer. I get that. But what I will tell you to do is, listen, say you've got 3 to 4 hours to game one day and, you know, the kids are to bed or it's Saturday and you just want to play Tarkov for a while. The one thing I would recommend you do is I would say before you go and do a bunch of raids, just see what the Flea market prices are on some of these barter items, right? Like just take a look. You can go down to electronics, you go building materials, and you're just kind of looking down and being like, okay, bundle of wires, really good. CPU fans, wow, that's a lot of money. Okay, CPU fans, I need to grab. Capacitors, meh. DVD drives, not too bad. Like just kind of look, just keep looking at stats, and you can just do it quickly so that you have a quick idea and things will stick out. Like the CPU fan, like that's right away to me, I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot of money. So that'll stick with you, right? So in your session, you'll be able to be like, oh, I know those are going for a lot of money. Now, if you do want a really good computer run that has made me millions of rubles every single wipe, I'm going to post a screenshot right up there right now, or I'll post the video in the description down below. So after this video, you can watch that one. I really want to say thank you so much for watching the video. It means a ton to me. And we are trying to hit 100,000 subs this year. So I am going to be putting out a ton of content. We're going to be putting out guides, opinion pieces, you know, weapon builds. We're going to be redoing task videos. We're going to be doing a lot. So if you don't mind, hit the subscribe button. It's free for you guys, but it does mean the world to me. And until next time, I'll just talk to everyone later.